South Yarra was one of the very first suburbs of Melbourne. There used to be large, stately manor houses here with huge gardens, but now this is one of the most densely populated suburbs of Melbourne. The Englefield aims to capture the spirit of those large family homes.
Hi Peter.
Hi Lisa.
Welcome to the Englefield.
Thank you. Gosh, it really is like a boutique hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for when we designed this lobby. I've got the penthouse ready for you. I'd love to show you.
Ah, super. Oh, I like the way the lift opens straight into the apartment. Oh, wow. Oh, this really is an apartment that's built for families.
Absolutely. One of the mantras we had when we were designing the apartment was a life collected. So we wanted to make sure that we had the spaces, the provisions to display all the things that you bring to a home so that it really could be a home for a family.
It's got lovely oak floors, fireplace, marble benches.
Yeah, and we actually start to think about these things as pieces of furniture. So these are kind of like your heirloom pieces that you'd see at your grandma's house,
yeah,
with the kind of really considered design.
I mean, I think one of my favourite things here is just the way the light is on three sides of the room.
Yeah, that was kind of key. Having that sort of immediacy of an outdoor space and a green outlook to beyond was really important to us.
This study is really a lot bigger than we're used to seeing with studies.
Certainly for an apartment as well. So we are working at home more and more often these days. We want to make sure that the spaces we provided were healthy and beautiful spaces to work in. This is one of our master bedrooms in the house, one of 3 bedrooms that we have. They all open up quite well to the light and the view.
I do love that actually. It's amazing to be in a place, in an apartment, where every room has aspect onto this lovely terrace.
We wanted to make sure that those aspects of the grand stately home in the gardens were brought here as well, because it's an important part. It goes to our health and well-being.
That's a great point. Health and well-being is something that you really do feel in a place like this. That sense of quality goes right through the project though. I mean, we had a look in the bathrooms and the bathrooms really have, I would call it a hotel level of quality.
Yeah, we were very conscious of wanting to create some customised pieces.
So Nick, we're surrounded by high density development in this area, like the developers, some of them really do rack and stack it. That's not the approach you took here, is it?
No, it's not. We really focused on high-end design, and the idea was larger living spaces, greater design principles which focused on natural light, more spaces that were similar to what we thought proportions that you'd find in your family home. And every apartment that we designed here, one of the focuses was promoting 3 sides of natural light. Ultimately, what we expected for the project demanded a lesser number, larger footprints, and that's why we arrived with the number we did.
The street has got a lovely mews feel. It's almost like a sort of English feel.
Chambers Street, South Yarra came up and we jumped at the opportunity. The surrounding amenity, the train station, Chapel Street, Jam Factory, local restaurants, bars, and the shopping precinct is second to none in Melbourne.
Well, we had a look in the wine cellar and there's obviously a trust between all the occupants.
Everyone who's here, they share similar values, and it's its own little community which has been nice to see.
Let's face it, as we approach 2020, we really can't afford to have 2.4 people rattling around a 3-bedroom house on a garden block in the inner suburbs. We need to embrace apartment living and make it a genuine option for families. I think this is exactly what we're looking for.
Goworthville is a much-loved rugby club with a very long history, but it's had to reinvent itself for a changing community. And that is the big challenge for our next architects. Anthony, this is not, to me, like a rugby leagues club. Like, where's the sport?
Yeah, look, originally the club started back in 1957 and it was, a sports club. There's fields behind us, but it's probably more of a community hub. It really is a place for people to gather and to meet their families and enjoy themselves.
Well, in fact, this where we're walking now is like the main street. I can imagine people coming here and meeting their families, meeting their neighbours, joining others in the restaurants.
It is, it's a real social hub. It's like an internalised town square.
Essentially, it's a shed. It's a very big space. How do you make it intimate?
Basically, the way we did that was create rooms within the space. So it's like an extension of people's houses. We wanted to create rooms within the rooms.
And I understand that on Mother's Day there was 6,000 people in this
that was
place.
a record. They had 6,000 and there was no complaints. Everyone was very happy, and it's lovely to see people gathering in this space we'll create.
So your individual fit-outs of each space have consistency, but they're all quite intimate and different.
They are. They're all of one family, as you say, but we do have like a series of different hierarchy of spaces. We've got furnishings in some areas which make it more loungy. We've got some hard surfaces and the banquet seating where it's a bit softer. So there's a little bit of a combination of.
I really like how this space is enclosed by, well, basically by room dividers, and they're very transparent, and they let me see out and they let the sunshine come in. And I've just noticed that I can also watch the big screen.
Yes, you can see the rugby there. So the rugby league's on the screen, so it's all at the heart of everything in the club.
This is a lovely external protected courtyard space that you've managed to step outside the main volume. So we're standing in a space between the main function and this garden pavilion. And this is a space that, you know, could be where the waiters come to hang out between shifts.
Really did want it to be a leftover space. We wanted it to be almost like a little nook where you could sit and relax. It has like a fractured element to the planters zone, so it creates little pockets where people could gather and also protected from the weather. And this is not the only outdoor space. We've also got the alfresco area, which is like an extension of your backyard. This is the backyard where you're sheltered, but you still feel outdoor.
Like a veranda.
So if you don't want to be inside the club with air conditioning, you can be outside and just enjoy the environment.
And that's where the screen's located. That's
right.
what I was looking at
Yes.
before.
Yeah, we really wanted to break up the scale of the building, and by actually fracturing the roof and breaking up the whole roof form, it embraces the interior and also comes down to the west in the main foyer. And then we've got the pavilion space that starts to drop the scale down to the actual bowling green. So it becomes a combination of different forms to break up that scale back down to what's in the street.
Yeah, so the presence to the street is very polite.
Yes, and we had to respect the locality. They're probably members as well, but we needed to make sure that it worked well for them too.
Yeah. The architects have taken a rugby club and turned it into so much more. By creating a welcoming and versatile place to visit, they've given the wider community a venue and a reason to come together.